phase change. All phase changes are physical. All right, Rusty? Chemical. What indicator do you see? Change of color. Dissolving? Physical. What do you see for tarnishing of silver? Chemical. I put that one up there because that's one that sometimes you'll see on an exam, but a lot of people, there he is. I just said I wonder if he'll be late today. Better late than never. Do you not have a first period? You skip. Do you have a first period?
Hey, Dylan.
Weightlifting? Well, I don't care about weightlifting as long as you make money. I'm sort of territorial that way.
Who's in first?
Go ahead and fix you right now while I'm thinking about it. All right, so tarnishing of silver. Any of you ever seen silver? Parents have silver? It used to be really popular to get as a wedding gift once upon a time. I mean, I don't have any because I didn't want it when I got married, but lots of people used to give that as a wedding gift. And real silver will tarnish over time and it turns brown. So you've got this really nice silver, all right, silver spoon, silver fork, silver knife, whatever. You can buy them in nice sets. And over time, sitting in a drawer, they get this really ugly brown coating on it, all right? So if you want to use the silverware, what do you have to do to it? Anybody know? You got to clean it. You just wash it with dish soap. You got to get silver cleaner and you got to polish and get all that goo off of it. All right? Yes, exactly. All right. So is that chemical or physical?
Chemical.
It's a chemical reaction. All right, and it actually changes color. Now they've actually made wipes that you can do that with. It's a little easier, but it's also more expensive because the wipes are expensive. All right, slicing bread would be what?
Physical.
Physical. All right, and what are the 5 indicators that you saw yesterday that you're going to finish answering your questions on today?
Light.
Change. All right, production of light.
Color.
Change in temperature.
Color.
Now, let me be clear, so I don't have to write this down or take points off on your lab, since y'all are going to answer questions for me in a minute. If you just wrote light, color, temperature, would I accept that on that lab sheet?
Yeah.
No. Did I write that yesterday on that paper and just write light, color, and temperature? Would you know what I meant when I wrote that?
No.
No. Am I going to assume what you know if you write that? You should assume, Eric, you're nodding over here, that Miss Wall knows nothing, okay? I am a blank slate when you turn in a paper. So if you write light, I'm assuming you mean something about the light switch, okay? You need to say production of light. I'll be glad to give it back to you, Gabriel. Because if you don't say production of light, I don't know what you're talking about, okay? If you just write temperature, like temperature of what? Okay? You need to tell me change in temperature. Okay, be specific, because if you're not, I don't know what you're talking about, okay? I'm a blank slate. I know nothing. I don't interpret anything. If you don't write it down, I don't know, okay? So, production of light, change of temperature. I heard change of color. Production of gas.
Precipitation.
Formation of precipitate. Okay, what is a precipitate? All right, it's a solid formed from 2 liquids. All right, can we look at homework real quick? Run through those, see if we have any questions on those. I just gave you those because a couple people said they were having a hard time with what was chemical, what was physical when they were doing the labs. And there's a couple questions on there that will not be on the test that I'm going to mark off. I'll tell you which ones they are when we get there. You probably can tell me. All right, so give 2 examples of something that is matter. That could be almost anything.
Bless you.
What'd you say?
Floor.
The floor. Give me something, Jimmy. It's matter. Give me something that is matter.
Meat.
All right, give me something, Tim. Sure, give me something that's not, Jennifer. Something that's not matter. Now I might put on the test tomorrow.
Oh,
You already done your homework? I see you got your homework done.
I know.
Something that does not matter.
No, Leandra.
Huh?
I did it right this second.
You didn't write the second part?
Please.
Go ahead.
Okay, sound,
Sound, what else?
No.
light.
Light, alright, would be examples of things that are not matter. Alright, what's the common one that everybody always says is matter, or is not matter, and it actually is matter? Air, remember, air is matter, don't let me get you with that tomorrow. What's the difference between mass and weight, Trent? Okay, what's the difference? Which one can change? Because of, very good. Alright, what's the difference between a physical and a chemical change? Hammer.
A physical change can be reversed and a chemical change can be.
I can live with that. Alright, what are you gonna say, Rebecca?
Chemical change can alter ID and physical change can.
I can live with that. Anybody got anything different? I can live with both those answers. No? Anybody have anything different? I like both of them. Alright, number 4. Give 4 examples of physical changes. So give me something that's physical. Alright, Jennifer. Give me something now. Huh? Alright, you gave me a physical property. Can you give me a change? Huh? That's still a property. You got physical properties. It's not wrong, it's just not a change. What? Huh? Can't hear you. Freezing, yes. Alright. Give me something else, Destiny. It's physical. Physical change. Alright, melting. Give me something that's a physical change, Sarah. Boiling point? Or instead of saying boiling point, because that's a physical property, drop one word and make it a change. Boiling. Alright, one more physical change, Selma. You don't have to. Huh? Tearing your shirt. Alright. Everybody got it? Alright, give me a chemical change. Give me one, Gabriel. We'll come back to you. Give me a chemical change. Who am I not talking to? Liliana, don't shove the donut in your mouth.
Resting.
Rusting. Alright, Gabriel. Digestion. Give me one. Aerobe. If you stick it in there, you still got to answer.
Pickle grass.
Yes. Nice clue over there, Tevin. Anybody else got something they want? Burning. Huh?
Flammable.
Flammability, burning something. All right, all of those are examples. So if we try to make it a little easier, number 5 we just did in the opening. If we look at number 6, all right, which one's a physical or chemical property? So if I say color, Eric, what is it?
Color?
Yeah.
Physical. No, that's
That's physical. Taste, Kevin. That's physical. Color and taste are physical. Reactivity, Timmy. What? Chemical. What is boiling point, Destiny? Yes. And flammability, Dylan? Yes. All right, determine if they're physical or chemical changes. Salt dissolving, Hema. Yep. Tearing paper would be what, Leander? And evaporation of boiling water, Rebecca? Physical, because of evaporation. Rusting would be what, Selma? Uh-huh. Wood rotting would be what, Liliana? And digestion would be what, Brian? Yes. 8 and 9 mark on. I moved that out of this unit. All right, on the back side, the weight of an object is least where? Where would the weight be the least? What'd y'all pick? Anybody?
B.
C is not the best answer. All right, C is actually. All right. C is the highest. All right. The closer you get, shh, those people who are yelling B and swinging their foot in the air like Selma have the right answer. All right. The closer you get to the center of the earth, the more gravity you have, the greater your weight. The further you get from the center of gravity, the less weight you have. So the higher the altitude, or the closer you get to outer space, the less weight you're going to have. So the answer is B, right? Technically, if you went up high enough in the mountains, you'd weigh less. Number 2, an experiment which investigates the density of water is investigating a what? Density would be a what? Be a physical property, so B. Number 3, a chemical property would be what? B. Shh. Guys, just throw your trash away and then sit down. Number 4, a dark gray solid is heated in a closed container. You get purple vapors. The purple vapors condense to a dark gray powder at the top of the container. This is an example of what? Now, this I think is a little misleading in that they're talking about dark gray and it changes to purple. So I think you could argue A for color change. They're trying, the original intent of the question is for you to see condensation. So condensation would tell you it's what kind of change? Physical. That was the intent of the question. But I would not mark A wrong if you put A.
I put B because you were talking about how like clear liquids that change to a color, so that's what I did.
Right. Well, the intent was for you to see condensation and for you to pick a physical change, okay? But because the question talks about dark gray and it changes to purple, gray to purple, I would not argue against that. All right, 5, road crew spread salt in the winter. The salt dissolves, the ice melts. The heat indicates what? It's exothermic, so it's B. Everybody got it? All right. So let's finish our labs from yesterday. Everybody got through the steps, right? At least I hope so, because I put all that stuff up. All right. We should not need longer than about 10 minutes to finish these. And, no, you're not getting 30 minutes. No, absolutely not. All right, Selma, Destiny, that's today. Right there. Turn it back to the I'm not raising them. Leona, Emma. Now remember, you're not in a group of 4 or 5, you're in a group of 2, and in a couple cases a group of 3. So finish these up and then get them to me. Once I finish handing them out, you could have 10 minutes. Tim? What's happening, Sarah? Yep. Dylan, Fred, Gabriel, and Ted. Remember what I said about not shortening answers to single words.
Oh, I just got to like my mama. Oh, no, I'm gonna get. Yeah. Isn't this?
You're gonna need that reason too.
Where? That's my confirmation.
I have no reason for that.
You a fool. Go, 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 go.
I made it. I'm good for myself. Translate one day.
But does it, Miss Wall,
Yeah,
if it produces gas, does it have to have bubbles?
not necessarily. Yes, get off your phone. Get off your phone.
Obama was saying.
Who's calling? Then don't answer it.
I talked to the phone. It's in the phone.
Try it, see. We lost it to you. That's what
Yes.
What's on? Oh, it did. Maybe when you poured it in, the thing was about
That's why I said.
Okay. Is that your name here?
That's why, did you say that all five chemical properties?
I don't. I did. I don't remember what I said.
I thought you
Miss Wall, you like bread donut, you think?
I've been a month.
You like it?
I liked it.
It's good.
I thought it was very good.
I just think they donuts are hot.
Never.
You bought 5 donuts for yourself and you want me to see them? I ate them all.
That.
Yes.
And then I took my Mr. Cross.
Yep. Yes, that's much better.
She was there.
No, that's fine. Your observations, that's fine.
I'm fine. Are you using one word answers now?
Alright, so we just wrote like 10. Yes, that's all. That's all. That's fine. Alright, you just use one word there. That's all fine. This is the only place right here that you really need to expand on. Don't be afraid. You can say it after me for 1 second. More than just like that.
We don't have to look over there.
Yeah, you don't have any.
You want patient, water?
Yep.
Miss Wall,
Okay.
what was the business that one with the bag making? Production of what? What's Yeah, thanks. Okay, honey. The three additions.
I wanna see two.
You guys have about 4 minutes or so to finish up. Oh, you go. Thank you, Madam.
I'm just waiting for 11
Yeah, Kevin, you got me done. Bring your papers up here. Stop jerking on stuff on my calculator. Don't let me.
Mouse, go, go.
Well, here I wrestled the other day. Damn, he was wrong. He was the best. He was the best on the team.
No.
He was the fastest guy. Right, you know, I shots were so fast. I was scared for you. I was like, oh.
Dylan, Kevin, Sam. Myra. Now, while Salma and Betsy are finishing up, the paper that Eric is bringing around to you is the paper I have up here labeled test review. And we may or may not spend the whole 30 minutes on it. We'll just see how we do. Now, some of the problems that I have on this paper, typically, and y'all may not be very typical, but typically cause issues on test day. All right, particularly the questions 7 through 11. So if you feel pretty comfortable with questions 1 through 6, which a lot of you did really well on the test. For example, number 4, you can draw a line through number 4 and number 6. I don't have anything like number 4 and number 6 on the test. All right, the other stuff you'll see on the test. But 7 through 11 in particular are the ones I want to do. All right, now look at question 7. I want to point that one out to you before you even do it. Because if I don't, y'all gonna do it wrong.
Number what?
Number 7. All right, the question says, what is the density in SI units? Okay, we did SI units the very first day. All right, so what are the SI units for density? All right, well, tell me this. What is the formula for density? Okay, so what is the SI unit for mass? Try again. It's the SI unit for mass. Kilograms. All right, what's the SI unit for volume? It's not centimeters squared, meters cubed. Now, look at the question that I gave you on the paper. What is the mass that I gave you? And it's in what unit? So you have to change your 48.6 grams into what? Kilograms. And then you need to take your 4.58 milliliters and change it into what?
Meters cubed.
All right, well, what is a milliliter? The same as?
ML.
It's the same as a centimeters cubed, right? So you're changing it into a meters cubed. So you need to do both of these conversions first, and then you need to put it into the density formula. Now, notice the way in number 7, the way I bolded the question to show you that I want it in SI units. Am I going to do that tomorrow on the test? No. Okay? So this is a way for me to get multiple items that we've learned in one test question. Look at question number 8. What you can tell me about those bolded, and I'll leave this up here on the board. I'll put it back there in just a second. All right, look at number 8. All right, look at the units in number 8. I'm asking you to find mass, right?
Yeah.
Density equal mass over volume. So typically we plug in density and volume and we cross multiply, right? Look at your units. Do they cancel out? Why not? They're different. One of them says 12.8 grams over milliliters, and this one says 7.8 or 7.3 deciliters. So what do we need to do before we even plug in to solve? Change it. Which one would I change? I would. Are y'all very good with the fractions? No, I'd leave fraction alone. So I'd change this deciliter. So the deciliter is the same as the what? I heard it back there. It's the same as the what? Same as the milliliter. So 1 deciliter is bigger. 100, calculate, and then I would plug it in for that one. Okay? So I want to do 7 through 11 and do as many of them as we can by about 5 minutes to 11. And I'll roam around and provide help for those of us who need it. Okay? But that's how we would start number 7. The top half, if you want to do it, you can. But the bottom half is the more important section for tomorrow. And did anybody lose earrings? Because I still have 3 earrings sitting up here that the custodian found the other day. I need to ask him 3rd period too. Here we go. And there are the answers if you get them done. Did I get everybody's lab sheet turned in? Everybody kept the lab sheet, right? I can't grade with y'all.
Get done this summer. I'm gonna get it. I know. Which one goes to?
Eric said, which ones did I say to do?
All of them.
I said, you can, don't do 4 and 6. 4 and 6 are not on the test.
We do all of them, right?
So there's no point in doing those. So what?
We're gonna do all of them.
You can do all of them if you want. You will see questions 1, 2, 3, and 5 on the test tomorrow. All right, but y'all did pretty well with those when we were doing them in class.
Right.
So I would focus on 7 through 11 right now. What's wrong, Destiny? What's wrong? Are you sure? Okay.
you trying to imply by the 48, 4.50?
Because the question says you have to do it in SI units, okay? This is the key to being able to do this question. It tells you in the question that it has to be done in SI units, okay? So what's the SI unit for mass that we learned the first day? So, it has to be in kilograms. I didn't give it to you in kilograms, I gave it to you in what? So you gotta draw a T-chart and convert it. So you're gonna draw a T-chart and change grams to kilograms. That's the first step, okay? And then volume, it's gotta be in meters cubed. But I gave it to you in milliliters, so you're gonna draw another T-chart and change milliliters into meters cubed. And then you can plug it in. That's what you gotta do in that first one. Okay? Milliliters and centimeters cubed are the same, yes. So just take off the milliliters and write centimeters cubed.
Bless you.
I just think we should miss the movements. Can you go back to that second class again?
Oh, no, I don't want this. Makes me suck. Timothy, who?
That was the one that I was sitting in the office with when we came up and he's like, what's my grade? They enrolled me glass. Shocking.
It shows credit. Somebody had to take it out anyway. Because you just would assume that you could do this person.
What do you think?
24.
Surround us.
It gets so hard.
What?
To the window.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Talking with you, what's the
All right, we got 7 done.
No, hold up.
Can we talk about it?
No, wait.
Okay.
Wait, not yet.
I don't want to give you 15 minutes to struggle with it before we put it on the board.
Okay, now you can go over it.
You were listening to that? That wasn't even good.
That's what.
What? That was me? They were just doing like some kind of, I don't know, that wasn't them trying to sing a whole song. Yes, that's right. Now you gotta change that, and put that number, the new number on the
Are we
bottom.
supposed to round it?
What? To significant digits? Yes.
It says SI units. I don't think so. I think you did it wrong.
All right, you've got, all right, come here. This needs another 0 because there's 3 spaces. Yes, there is. 1, 2, 3. And this is centimeters.
Is it, I got point
So get rid of that.
106.
And you got to cube both of those.
I didn't got this wrong.
All right, let's look at number 7. Because some of y'all that I've looked over your shoulders, y'all got a jacked up mess. I know some of y'all are hollering, hold on. So 48.6 grams, right? Grams on the bottom, kilograms on top. Who's bigger? How many spaces between kilo and gram?
3.
So 3 zeros. So you get 0.0486 kilograms. Now, this 4.58 milliliters. What's a milliliter the same as? A centimeter cubed, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna write centimeter cubed here. I'm not even writing milliliter on the line. Because if I write milliliter on the line, y'all want to go in your King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. You want to start counting it milli. I don't want to count it milli because I'm going from centimeter cubed to what? I'm going to what? Meters cubed. So where's meter at on my King Henry died? It's on the baseline. How many spaces between the meter and the centi?
2.
1, 2. But if I put that milli there, I'm going to want to say there's how many spaces? There's 3 spaces, but I'm not going to milli. Okay? I'm going to centi. Now, this is the piece that people kept missing as I was walking around. What do you do when both of those units are cubed? You cube the numbers, right? So, when you do this, you end up with point, and I think it's like 5 zeros. Let me check my math there. It's 4.58 times 10 to the negative 5th, I think. I don't have any work written down. So I'm trying to do it in my head. Oops, that's stupid. Times 10 to the negative 6. All right. So let me see. Yep, I got it. It's that or 4.58 times 10 to the negative 6. You can do it either way. Now that I have the 2 conversions, now I can plug into my density formula. Density equals, what's my new mass? 0.0486 kilograms. And what's my new volume? 4.58 times 10 to the negative 6 meters cubed. And I'm going to get a really big number. This is why we don't use SI units, because it's gigantic. That sounds about right. It should be huge. Yep. So I got 2. 1.06 times 10 to the 4th. And it'll be kilograms over meters cubed. Okay? And that's in SI units. But that's how you do that one. You will see one of those on the test tomorrow. The whole test is not that hard, but there are some sprinkled throughout that require you to do something like that. Now, yeah, Aaron,
How many questions are you?
45, and they're multiple choice.
Oh.
Keep them up.
Do we have to look? I thought you would like to teach you.
You might have the whole class period if you do, yes.
So all of them.
So
All of them are multiple choice.
That's only gonna be for the first test,
I
right?
will move some of you around, by the way, so don't be offended if I move some of you around, but
I sit in the back and the screen.
possibly, yes.
Can I just stay
All
up
right,
here?
but we're a small group, so some of us will be asked to move, so please don't be offended when that happens. But, you know, some people have roving eyes, and I'm suspicious by nature, okay? I'll just tell you that up front. I have trust issues. I tell all the people that. So, what's wrong? What are you yelling about over there?
Don't put Salma next to me, she's gonna cheat.
Don't put Salma next to you, because Salma will cheat off your paper. He might cheat off your paper, Salma, so, you know, it might just be wise not to put Hyro next to you.
And he said make me laugh.
Although if I leave him there, he's got nobody to cheat off of unless it's really obvious because he's craning his neck over looking off Brian's paper.
Oh, you know.
I'll bring my glasses tomorrow.
You know, the thing I found when I got my new glasses is, you know, I kept thinking, you know, when I got new glasses, I'm like, man, I'm gonna be able to see so far away. It'll be fabulous. You know, but then I figured out, you know, new glasses aren't binoculars. They're just supposed to clear up things at a distance. So it's not like when I got my new glasses, I was gonna be able to see a mile down the road. It took me about a week to figure that out. I couldn't figure out why I could not see all that distance down the road. No. I know. All right, questions about that one? Did we try 8?
Yeah.
All right, did we get an answer for 8? Or were we so focused on 7 we couldn't get to 8?
Yeah.
All right, try 8. Those of you who got 8 and got it done, try 9.
Can you check my?
I can. All right, we're trying to get all the way to 11. Can I go over to the one that we started? Yes. Okay, see how many you can get done. Just like I said, at about 11, we're gonna move on. All right, what you got, dear? That looks right. Just a quick scan. That looks exactly right. I can go check the answer real quick, make sure it is.
I haven't divided yet.
Yes, that's what I got too.
Can you check my 8?
Yeah.
I don't think I did it right.
Let me see.
Hold up, I'm copying that
I
down.
think I'm still.
You have the right work and the wrong answer. Everything to this, hold on. Everything to this point is exactly right. You didn't get algebra. Your chemistry's right. Your math is wrong.
I divide this.
All right, you're in math class. Listen to me. You're in math class, right? And you have to solve for the M. How would you solve for the M if you're sitting in math class and you just need the M? No.
Oh yeah, it is called multiply, right?
There we go. Now would be an M, not a B. You wrote your formula wrong also. But you would cross multiply. All right, but all of your chemistry is right. That's just your math. Your chemistry's beautiful. All right, so let's got 8 done, and we're gonna check. 9 is an easy one. There's nothing weird about 9.
Why did you tell me what it was? The V was on the top. It's supposed to be low. Shut up, Mark. Okay, Miss Walker.
Hopefully tomorrow they're gonna come wash that glass where you're gonna sit there, Daniel. Oh, good. Punxsutawney Phil predicted 6 more weeks of winter. We're gonna have 6 more weeks of 60-degree temperatures.
I'm not even.
Is this supposed to snow Friday?
Huh?
Is this supposed to snow Friday?
They said that we might see some flakes mixed in with a possibility of rain, but there's only like a 30% chance of rain.
Okay.
So, I don't expect to see any, all right, what we talking about?
Oh, she asked me how I got 7:30. And I was
Oh.
like, cause you know how she said that none of the years are the same, so it had.
You got 7:30.
Yeah, but I was like, what?
Oh, in for volume. Because that's milliliters, right? So you plug it in for your volume. So when you plug it into your density, you're gonna plug it into, that's your density, and that's your new volume. So that's D, that's V, and now you solve for mass. You want either one of your hall passes, it could be 5 points on your last test grade this semester to go to the bathroom. I thought you might.
Yeah, I got a P too, but I'm trying to save it, cause I know I'm gonna be like.
All right, anybody else?
I'm gonna get like a 50. You're gonna give me 15 points, I'm gonna get 65.
Man, we still in the past
Right.
with the D.
Now, 10 and 11 are gonna be the ones that'll catch you tomorrow. Now, notice 10 and 11, are they bolded? 10 and 11 are gonna look like the test questions tomorrow. There's no bolding done in 10 and 11, okay?
I'm gonna be
They look like the test questions.
I'm gonna be sick tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like.
Yeah.
No, but if it's chemistry with the 90, we definitely.
All right, 10 and 11 look like test questions. Do 10 and 11. If you've already got through 9, why are you stopped?
Sorry.
Because what happens in my world, folks, is if when we do test review, you do nothing, we just don't do test review. I just move on, okay? Because who's the one person in the room who doesn't need the review?
You.
Yep, don't need it.
You know
You have a question?
Yeah, they were saying that.
All right. So how'd you get this? Because this looks good.
And then they did that, and it was.
She said, what? Give her that crap, right here. Give her that number. Yes, that crap.
I had to stay 2 days.
But I got this big old number. Then that big old number's right. No, I make up these numbers. So don't worry about the size of the numbers. See them lines you drew right there that say cross multiply? That's exactly what it should look like. You should cross multiply, because that's the math. Now, what'd you do with that bad advice you
That's
gave?
crazy.
So if you have this right here, which is set up right, if you're sitting in math class, you gotta solve for that number. That little M right there, what do you do to the M by itself? I know you're supposed to cross multiply. If I can just finish off with math, the chemistry of the do it. So we're only like calculus.
I messed up. I couldn't.
Yep,
And I
so
couldn't.
you get a decimal.
I'm blind as hell, so I couldn't
That's all.
see how calculus.
You're working exactly right. Yep. Yes. Yeah.
Hey, what are we doing?
9,344. What, here's math.
Now you drive.
I don't feel like doing this. I feel like thinking.
Yes.
Like, if I think
So which
about
one
it,
we
I
doing
got to do it.
this
I don't want to think.
Yes.
I know, it's just.
I gotta finish this.
What do we do whenever,
My smart
like
joke.
nothing right here?
Gotta study for this.
Cross multiply first. So you get what?
You haven't done it?
Equals.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's on.
You need that. Yeah.
I think I'm the sick person that did.
We're gonna get a decimal. That's the other thing. It's gonna be different now.
No,
We're gonna number less than 1, and that's okay.
Work on it.
Brian, Hyro, y'all got an answer for 10 and 11? Liliana's paper is blank.
She's gonna find it.
Started fabulous. So. Alright.
We can't, I remember.
You have to change it. It's all blocked. You have to change it.
Do we change leadership? Yeah.
Chairman. With that.
You know what?
That's the best.
About 8:40.
I've never been there. I've never been there, Timothy.
You like that?
I don't like no one of those. They serve real Mexican. I feel like the sausage. I feel like the sausage. I like meat consoles food. I think that's my
The thing is that they don't pay us.
Okay,
The
do we
only
change
thing I make is.
Yes, yes,
leader to middle leader?
yes.
What's the highest tip?
Mr. Walker, you can.
Yep. Huh?
I like the letter. I remember.
Yeah, just
Something like
leader,
Yep.
leader, and then
Yep.
change it to leader.
Nope, I think up milliliters.
They'll be-
That's milliliters, plug it in salt.
80 or 70.
And then once you get grams, change it into what?
It's a nice-
Yep.
gonna give
So what
them
is
a
it,
word.
27,
Like,
17,
I remember it comes like.
Because there are some centers, too, so I don't want to waste my time on that. Ira, if you can't be quiet and work there, then you can't sit there. And so far, every time you sit there, you stop working. You talk to Brian and I don't get anything. So you gotta choose. Either I can work, or I can sit at the back and be blind and not see anything. I don't care which one you pick. This. Yeah, it's number 10. Why are we talking about 11? Okay. Okay, yes, you changed it. You've got milliliters. So now you're gonna plug it in and find density. With the density, you're gonna find the mass. Once you find the mass, you're gonna change it into. Yes. Oh, okay. Good. Okay, so you're getting in milliliters. Then you're gonna plug into your density formula and find the mass. Once you have the mass, you're gonna change it to. All right.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Find the mass for this one?
Yes.
Then plug it in.
You got to. So, all right, you're trying to change the one that has the fraction. Don't change the one that has the fraction. Okay? See how that's grams over milliliters? Get rid of that.
Let me answer something.
You have the right idea and you're working the problem right. The problem is always pick the one that doesn't have the fraction. So change liters of the milliliters. You will always do better if you change the one that doesn't have the fraction.
With that.
1.27.
$125. I'm sorry.
1.27, I just told you that.
Oh, I think you meant like. Okay. So now.
1.27, that's the volume. So plug it in. 1.27. You have a little faith. I said, I understand. I get it.
And what is this?
Yep, so whatever D goes, and you solve it for what?
No, you gotta call me.
Okay, so find the math. All right, and now it needs to be what unit?
Kilograms.
So put G on it, change it to kilograms, you got it. All right, now that's just good. So you one step shy. Change the kilogram that you got.
Oh, Miss Ball,
What?
that hurt when you hit my head because I already have a headache.
I'm sincerely sorry. Here,
No,
I'll
you're not.
massage your scalp. Stop talking over here and do your work. Yes. Perfect. To the next.
Okay, Miss Ball, for number 11.
I would leave that one alone because it's the fraction, and I would change the milliliters into liters to match it, because that is the fraction. Grams over liters, I would not change the fraction. I would change the unit that is not fraction to match the fraction. I mean, you can change the fraction, but because you would have to draw it so that you have your 7.85 grams over liters, and put your liters at the bottom, and your liters on top, and milliliters on the bottom. You can do it, because we learned how to put liters in the bottom, and switch it that way, and do it this way. You could, okay? We did that, but a lot of students, when we did this conversion of this, they flipped it and got it backwards. But when we changed milliliters to liters, y'all did it right 95% of the time.
So I just do the same thing, I put ML in there.
Yes, exactly. All right, who else has a question?
I'm always gonna put SA in this, right?
No.
Unless it asks for it.
Unless I ask you specifically for the question, I would not do it. And I only have like one or two of those on test. Probably only one.
If we
What
put
are you
it in-
doing?
Which aspect?
We always have to put it in SA.
What are you doing?
Which is in-
Thinking.
Thinking? Thinking that
And
one.
we always, you know, like you
This
said.
word.
Huh?
This word.
Instead of putting in
What is
milliliters.
wrong? Are you stuck? Do you need help? What's the problem?
What do we do that?
Why can't you think?
Yeah.
With grams, you get the mark.
Oh, yeah, I remember now. Well, I hit my head on the today too. Right here.
But if you're just sitting there chatting,
All right, let's talk.
I can't work with you. Okay, that's just wrong. That's not helping you. It's not gonna help you. Oh, I'm done. Okay. You can do that. What? The answers are right there, where I was just parked up there, okay. I told y'all that a while ago, when I said the answers are
I have
right there.
short-term memory loss.
Harlow's like right there. I got it.
You don't have time to come show me.
I forgot to put milliliters.
Okay, I got that. I got that one. Right. Oh, I'm good.
I think, check my calendar, but I think I have.
I didn't put
You need to make arrangements or check on,
Too little.
what's next week? Monday, Tuesday's good.
This is
Wednesday's
too
good,
box
Thursday's
up.
good. Make arrangements.
Point. What?
Things all off like this work.
One
I
loud.
forgot to live, bro.
and several
Suresh be watching this.
homework that we get caught up on.
Yeah. Look, this is live. You know that? Suresh be watching this. He be telling me.
You need to start making time.
Yeah.
I look like I'd be a teacher.
Oh, this
See
live.
yourself.
I know.
Why is it all backwards though? It's all backwards.
Brothers.
We just all stay.
I'm gay.
She said, not like that.
I
She
don't
said, like,
know.
after class, you come for test correction. No, I'm gonna be here. I'm be sick.
I'm gonna get
First and second period.
Ever since I was
Who else has a question?
the answer is running off the line.
Who you doing?
Jasmine's question.
Did you answer?
Sorry.
Sit down.
Did he ask you a question too?
You just keep going. I wasn't even talking to you.
Oh, live. And she got a good challenge.
right, what number are we on? The last one, all right, I'll give you about 2 minutes, and I'm gonna call out the answers for those of you who haven't checked, and then we're gonna move on. While y'all are doing that, I need to hand you a periodic table.
Oh, come on.
Now, too bad. Now, the periodic table I'm handing you, you'll notice is on cardstock. All right, given the school does not provide cardstock, and I buy the cardstock, this should tell you this chart is important. Don't lose it. Put your name on it. Also, do not take notes on it. Do not. This is your periodic table that you can use on all quizzes and tests. Alright, it is the same periodic table you will be given on exam day, except I shrunk it to fit 1 page. It'll be expanded to fill 2 pages on exam day, because it's the middle 2 pages of the booklet you'll be given on the exam. But I'm not giving you 2 pages to keep up with. Alright, so put your name on it.
And that's the one, the middle one.
That's the last one.
It's a man.
Hey, gang.
Timothy, let me get some rain.
Alright, let's look at some answers real quick. Alright, so for those of you who did not check, I think most of us heard number 8 was 9,344 grams.
Yeah.
Alright, number 9 should have been 0.894 milliliters. Some of us did not check number 10. I'm going to give it to you in 2 different forms. Number 10 could be 4.86 times 10 to the negative 3rd kilograms. And you might have not put it in scientific notation, so 0.00486 kilograms.
Okay.
And number 11 should be 0.323 grams.
Yeah.
Anybody have any issues? All right, your test is tomorrow on everything we've done to this point, okay? Some of it will be as simple as what's the SI unit for mass? What's the SI unit for volume? Some of it will be as complex as this and having to do all that. It is all multiple choice. There are 45 questions. If you need the whole class period, I will give you the whole class period. If we don't need the whole class period and we finish with 30 minutes to spare, we will not take 30 minutes to hang out in our chairs, play on our cell phones, and listen to our music. We will move on, okay? So be prepared for that and don't be irritated. Now, we're going to move on today with our remaining roughly 37-ish minutes and start talking about some atomic structure. For those of you who had a fabulous 8th grade science experience, today is going to be entirely reviewed. For those of you who had a sub or a really crappy 8th grade experience, today is probably not going to be reviewed, okay? So it just really depends on what you have. And unfortunately, you just didn't all have the same experience, okay? So for those of you who had a great experience and you're having to repeat this, I'm sorry, okay? But we've got to talk about atomic structure because it is huge for our curriculum. And so you have got to know some basic things about atomic structure and the parts of an atom, how to find things, and I cannot just assume that everybody in the room knows it, okay? I could, but it would be disastrous. Now, when we talk about atomic structure, we used to have to cover the history of the atom and who discovered all of the parts. But about 4 years ago when they redid the curriculum and they did Common Core and they remodeled and revamped the science curriculum, they decided all the history stuff could go. So you've been spared the history of the atom, but you still have to know all the parts and the masses and things of that nature. So it's pretty common for the middle school teachers and particularly lower grades to teach the atom in terms of the 3 parts. And at the high school level, we tend to teach it in terms of the 2 parts. So if you had a really good experience, you've already had this. If you had a crappier experience, you probably only got this. So most everybody can tell me the three parts, even if your experience was crappy. So what are the three parts of an atom? Proton, and there you go. Okay. Now, most people can even tell me the charge on those three parts. All right, so the proton we know is positive. We're going to be more specific with that in a minute. A neutron is neutral, and an electron is negative. Now, that's pretty basic. Even a crappy experience should at least have gotten you that far. Now, a better experience should have broken that down into the two parts of an atom. Now, those of you who had the better experience, tell me what the two parts of an atom are. Nucleus and the electron cloud. Okay? So, the nucleus and the electron cloud. Now, in terms of what particles live in each part, this is my soapbox moment for the day, because this drives me insane on a quiz or a test. When I say to y'all, what parts are found where? See if you can follow my train of thought. All right? It's called the electron cloud because what lives in the electron cloud? Okay. So when I ask what particles are found where, how mad do you think I get when people tell me protons are found in the electron cloud? Not impressed people. Okay? It's called the electron cloud because what lives in the electron cloud? Electrons. Okay? It's that simple. You laugh, but people on the test are going to tell me that what is found in the electron cloud? Everything but electrons. Drives me nuts. Now, if electrons are found in the electron cloud, what does that mean has to be found in the nucleus? Everything else, right? So what's everything else? Protons and neutrons. Does that make sense to y'all?
Yes.
Okay. So we should be able to tell me that on a quiz or a test when I ask, right? Everybody with me? Okay. Y'all better get right on the quiz. You will see this on quiz. Probably Monday. Does everybody have what they need? All right. So the part that most people don't necessarily teach in middle school. Now, charge, of course, we've already talked about a little bit. All right, but mass we've not talked about at all. Now, the charge on a proton you said was positive. So what number do we generally assign to a positive charge? Plus, I need a number. No. There we go. All right, so we assign it a +1. All right, a neutron you said was neutral. So what number would we assign that?
0.
There you go. And an electron you said was negative, so we would assign it a, there you go. All right. For the masses are typically not taught at a middle school level, so this will be new for us. Two particles have roughly the same mass, all right? P with a plus is the abbreviation for proton, and N with a 0, all right, is the abbreviation for neutron. Have approximately equal masses. Okay? Since they're approximately equal, they're assigned masses of 1. All right? Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Now, the electron is the outlier in this. An electron has a mass so small it is negligible. So we assign it a 0. Now, what do I mean by negligible? All right. For example, let's say Liliana has a doctor's appointment today. She goes to the doctor, the nurse calls her back. What's the first thing the nurse has her do?
Take your shoes off.
All right, she takes her shoes off for what reason, Hyro? Weighs them. All right. Now, why is the only thing she has to take off is her shoes? Why does she have to take all her clothes off?
That's
Clothes don't weigh anything?
They do.
They do. But what does she have on every time she goes to the doctor?
Clothes.
I hope so. All right. So today she have on some jeans and a sweatshirt. All right. If she goes in June, she's gonna have on what?
Shorts.
Shorts and a t-shirt. Is the difference between what her clothes weigh today and the clothes weigh in June a big difference in weight?
Yeah.
No. So the difference in those is negligible. It's not important. So when I put up there that the electron has a mass of 0, am I saying that the electron has no mass? No, I'm saying that its mass is so small, it's not important, okay? That's what negligible means. So small, it's not important. So when we go to the doctor, most doctors will say, take your shoes off. However, our mass is important because we're large people, okay? We all have on clothes. Maybe today we have on pants and a shirt because it's cold outside. We go in the summertime, we have shorts and a t-shirt. Maybe we even have on something a little bulkier. It changes by a pound. Is a pound going to make a difference when, I pick on Liliana, you weigh how much? You got to be one of the smallest people in here, so you weigh what? 120. All right, so they've got a prescribed medicine for Liliana, and she weighs 120 pounds. Is 1 pound of clothing going to make a difference when they prescribe her some medication? Not at all, okay? Now, if we take a baby who weighs, let's say 10 pounds, do they let the baby keep their clothes and diaper on? Anybody ever take a baby to the doctor?
Yeah.
If you haven't, okay, when you take a baby to the doctor, baby has to be naked, okay? They'll usually leave the diaper on until they get to the scale, and then they have to do what? Take it off. Because if you only weigh 10 pounds, and that diaper weighs a pound, that's 10% of their body weight, okay? That's huge. Is 1 pound of clothing out of 120 pounds going to be a large percentage of your body weight? No, okay? But for a baby, it's important. For us, it's negligible. For me, it's really negligible. All right? So for an electron in the overall mass of an atom, it's virtually nothing. So when you think about an atom, most of us have this vision of what an atom looks like. And this is not drawn to scale. This is about the best I can do. Okay? Because that's as big as my board's going to get. I really need 3 football fields in an atom. All right? So if this is my atom, all of this is the electron cloud. And this right here is the what? That's the nucleus. Remember, the 2 parts are the nucleus and the electron cloud. So what's the atom made almost exclusively of?
Electron cloud.
The electron cloud. Okay? So I don't expect you to draw this giant picture on your page, but you should at least write down that almost all of the atom is made of what? Electron cloud. And all of this is mostly what? What is all this? Is anything in it? No. It's sort of like in here. What's all this when I'm moving through? Air. It's just empty space. There's nothing there. Okay? So an electron cloud is mostly empty space. Okay? And then you have this little itty bitty tiny nucleus. Okay? And it has all the what? it has all the mass, okay? So all of the mass is that itty center of an atom, and all of the volume is out here in the electron cloud. Does that make sense? You got a visual of it? All right, so the nucleus is like 99.9% mass, and the electron cloud is like 99% volume. Okay? Everybody with me? Now, from there, in middle school, y'all probably started talking about some numbers on the periodic table. And this is where we have to expand your knowledge, because they probably didn't teach the right notations. It's not that they didn't want to, they just didn't figure they had to. All right, does everybody have what they need off the board? Okay. So, if you look at your periodic tables, first of all, periodic tables can come either way. All right, and I'm just going to pick NA. All right, they can have 11 and 22.99 at the bottom, or they can have 22.99 at the top and 11 at the bottom. If you look at this periodic table over here, it looks like this one. If you look at that one, it looks like this one. Okay? So just saying, one of the numbers is always at the top, one of the numbers is always at the bottom, won't work for you. All right? So what are the names of those two numbers? Because most people always remember those. Okay, atomic mass and atomic number. So which one is which? Does anybody remember? The atomic number is the what, Tevin? I didn't hear what she said. All I hear the people in the hallway.
11.
The atomic number is the 11. Can you tell me what it is, though? No, it's not the atoms.
Does it have something to do with the table, right?
It does.
It's like,
Number of protons.
There you go. Do you have notes from somebody that you're just reading off of? Because you sure do know an awful lot today compared to everybody else in the room. Maybe. Well, I appreciate that you know a lot, but it's a little unfair for you to look like you know everything and they know nothing. So, whose notes do you have? I don't care. I'm just asking. Huh?
It's a lot.
It is a lot. So if you want to keep those notes and not have me confiscate them, I suggest you put them in your book bag and put them away. And I don't ever want to see them out in my room again. Fabulous. Now, atomic number is the number of protons in an atom. I don't mind you having them, all right? But it's unfair that you just blurt out all the right answers and they're looking at you like you're some kind of genius over there and they have no idea how you know all this.
I better know everything.
Now, the atomic number is the other number that was given. Now, atomic mass, sorry, I said atomic number. Atomic mass is the other number that was given out. Sometimes people will say mass number instead of atomic mass. Either name is correct. You will hear me say atomic mass almost exclusively because that is the way I learned it when I was in high school. And you tend to use the same names that you learned. But sometimes people will say mass number. It doesn't matter. As long as it says mass, it's the same thing. All right, this is the number of protons and neutrons in an atom. Okay, it's the number of protons and neutrons in an atom. Now, Kevin said the 11 is the atomic number, and that is correct. All right? Now, I will never, ever, ever take this as an answer to any question. But if you ever struggle with which one is which, because atomic number is only protons, the atomic number is always the small number. And because atomic mass is always a combination of protons and neutrons, atomic mass is always the big number, okay, or the larger number. So when you look at the periodic table or either of the notations that we're getting ready to learn, when you look at them and you're trying to figure out which one is which, and let's just say you forgot, the little number is always the atomic number and the bigger number is always the atomic mass. Okay, so Tevin was right when he said 11 was the atomic number, so that makes the 22.99 the atomic mass. Now, most of you probably only use those numbers on the periodic table to find the protons, neutrons, and electrons, which is technically not right. Okay, so we're not going to do it that way. You need to learn the correct notations. Just everyone have what they need off the board. All right, we're going to start with the first notation is called nuclear symbol notation. It's the one students generally like better because it gives you both numbers. But it's a pain to type. Now, it's called nuclear symbol notation because it gives you the symbol. For example, Fe with a 56 and a 26. All right, the Fe, of course, is the symbol, and both numbers are given. Now, the 26 would be the what? Would be the atomic number. Because it's always the little number, and that means the 56 has to be the what? Has to be the atomic mass. Everybody okay with how their classmates figured out which one's the number and which one's the mass? Yes? No? Yes? All right. Now, you have to be able to find protons, neutrons, and electrons for every element with every designation that's given to you, okay? Including ions, and we'll do those on Monday. All right, so if I said find the protons, all right, what did we just say? Protons are what? They're the atomic number, all right? So, the atomic number is what? 26. That's how you would find the number of protons. If you know the atomic number, you know the protons are 26. Is everybody okay with that? Okay. Now, we haven't said anything about electrons yet. If we cruise back here, neither definition says anything about electrons. So how are we going to know electrons? We remember. Somebody remembers. I feel confident. Somebody out there knows. Remember something. Not divided. All right, that's subtracting thing y'all remember is the next concept we're going to learn. Hold that thought.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope. Y'all are about some math. I got nothing out there? No, you can all look it up. Anybody else?
I thought, those like the same number.
Genius among us every day. That's very good. All right. Write this down. I don't care if you write it someplace else, but atoms are neutral. All right. What does the word neutral mean? Has no what? No charge. The number of pluses and the number of minuses are what? Equal. So if you know that there are 11 protons, meaning 11 positives, there have to be 11 what? Negatives. So that means protons equal the electrons. All right, so there is no number on the periodic table for electrons. Because atoms are neutral, the number of protons equal the electrons. So if I cruise back to my table right here, electrons are the same as the protons. So how many are there? Not negative 26, just 26. You don't have to specify that they're negative. All right? So, from there, my neutrons. Now, what did y'all tell me to do just a second ago? That's right. All right. The reason why. If you have protons and neutrons together, okay? So, we know protons and neutrons together, and we know just protons. If I subtract them, what's going to happen? What's going to happen if I subtract protons and neutrons and protons? The protons are going to do what? Cancel out and leave me just the neutrons, right? So, anytime I want neutrons, I say mass subtract the number. So what's my mass? 56. Subtract 26, and I get 30. Questions about the notation? Everybody feel okay about that? That's the easy one. That's the one students like. Both numbers are given. Did you have to use your periodic table at all to do that? No, but that is a pain for me to type. So do I like that notation? Heck no. I spent all my time tabbing and superscripting and subscripting trying to get all those numbers lined up on the test. All right. So what notation does Miss Wall like? It's not that one. All right. Everybody caught up? So the one I like is called hyphen notation. Because I can just put like calcium dash 41. That is a breeze for me to type. No superscripts, no subscripts, no tabbing, hyphen, number 41, off I go. The problem is, how many numbers do I have? Just one. Which number did they give me? Hold up. Oh, I gotta get some water. I'm gonna check that. All right. So what number was that? What's wrong? Tell me about cheat on him. You're a real genius. All right. So what number do we have? Yeah, the mass. All right. Now, how? If this is the mass, we need the other number. Where are we going to get it? Why? I have y'all periodic table a minute ago. Y'all are going to look it up. All right. So find calcium. All right.
I found it. I found it.
All right. What is it, Hyro?
20.
All right. So the atomic number equals 20. Okay. So now you do the same thing you were doing just a second ago. So in order to find protons, the protons are equal to what? They're equal to the atomic, who? Protons are equal to the what? Atomic number. So the atomic number is what? 20. All right. The electrons are the, all right, same as the protons. So there's how many? 20. The neutrons are found by doing what? Mass, subtract number. So I hear several people saying 21. 41 subtract 20. Questions?
As well.
Yes.
I need Destiny Hill to the main office.
Okay. Is she
Sign
leaving?
out.
Does she need to bring her stuff? Sign out.
Yes, she's signing out.
Okay, thank you. Alright. Everybody good? Now, what if I wanted you to work backwards? Let's say that I tell you that you have 16 electrons and 18 neutrons. And I want you to write both notations.
That's easy,
Okay? Can we do it? All right. So what types of things do we need to figure out from the information I've provided?
First, you have to figure out the protons, it would be 16.
All right. Tevin's giving me one thing. You shush for a little bit. All right. So we know the protons are 16. All right. So how did he figure that out? What do you look at? All right. So we looked at the electrons and he knows the protons are 16. What else can he get from that? Somebody else give me an answer. All right. So Brian says he needs the mass. All right. So to find the mass, he said mass are protons and neutrons. And that's the definition we wrote down a second ago. What's and mean in math class? Add, right? So he said 16 plus 18. I'm doing that math right in my head. That's 34. All right. So Brian's giving me something. All right. Somebody different give me something else that we know from what I put up there on the board. Right and Tevin out of the pool. I can't answer. Somebody else tell me something we know. You can't answer. You can have all the answers. No. Well, you can answer as long as you don't use that notebook. Because I have no idea what example I used last semester. It could be the same. It could be something different. All right. What else do we know? We know the protons and we know the mass at this point. You cannot answer. You can only think about it in your head.
This is moving like really slow.
Sorry. Tell me, what do you know? What do you know? The neutrons are 18, but I gave you that. So give me something we don't know. Could you tell me the element or could you tell me the atomic number? We would need to know those things.
What are we looking for?
You're trying to, you know how I gave you this a second ago and this? That's what you're trying to turn this into. Put your hand down. I'm not calling on you. You, I'd call on. Hold on a second. Let's see if Hema gives me anything.
Sulfur.
It is sulfur. All right. Hema, what were you getting, or Jennifer, what were you getting ready to tell me? The atomic number is what? All right. So Jennifer says the atomic number is 16 and Hema said it's sulfur. Both of those answers are correct. All right. We know that since Tevin said there are 16 protons, that the atomic number has to be 16. Everybody with us on that? All right. Brian probably did the hardest thing. He said the mass is the protons and the neutrons, and he did the 16 plus 18 is 34. All right. Which of these two numbers tells us the identity of the element? The atomic number. Okay. If you don't know this, write it down. All right. This IDs the element. Masses can change, and we'll talk about isotopes on Monday, most likely. Maybe tomorrow. I guess we'll just see. Any of y'all know you're normally really slow test takers? I never know until after the first one. Who's really slow? Typically, how many are typically pretty slow? Okay, it's fine if you are. I mean, it's fine if you are. I'm just curious because I won't know until after tomorrow. Now, so if we try to write the notations, all right? Hyphen notation wrote the name out, right? So what's the name of the element? Sulfur. Hyphen. What went after the hyphen? What was after the hyphen a second ago? The mass. So what did we say the mass was? So 34. All right. The other one was nuclear symbol notation. So what's the symbol for sulfur? So we write the S. All right, if I cruise back to that one, what was at the top? And what was at the bottom? All right, so what's the mass? And what's the number?
16.
Questions?
Wait, yeah, I do have a question. Your math is a little cricket here.
Oh, math is crooked. What's wrong with my math?
Maybe like 16 you try. 16 point something.
Oh, you mean there's a different math in the periodic table?
I mean, no, but I mean, oh yeah, it's like 32.06.
It's called an isotope.
Isotope.
I did that intentionally. Which is why I just said we talk about isotopes on Monday. I hope tomorrow, I live always with the hope that we will finish testing early so that we can move on and learn something new. But if I don't get to teach something new tomorrow, I will survive the disappointment. However, if y'all do things early, I will talk about isotopes tomorrow. But if not, I'll survive. Now, you do not have to worry about this tomorrow on the test. It will not be on your test, right? Your test starts with SI unit and cruises through physical and chemical properties. Are there any questions you want to ask before you leave today?
The paper you gave earlier is a homework or just?
No, it was just to help y'all. There's no homework tonight other than to do what, Salma? Study for the test. I'll be here today till about 4:20ish.
I might come again.
Okay, I'll be here till about 4:20. All right, Dylan, you look at your busy schedule and see what you can work in for me. I'll be here all 3 days next week.